It has now become the longest in U.S. history as it enters its 36th day, surpassing the record held by the 35-day shutdown of Donald Trump's first term. The Senate failed for the 14th time to advance a House-passed resolution to end the stalemate late on Tuesday. Both sides continue to blame each other. Well, Justin Wolfers is a professor of economics and public policy at the University of Michigan. He joins us for more on this. Justin, great to get your thoughts on this shutdown, which has now become the longest in history. How has that played out when it comes to economic factors in the US?
Well, congratulations, America. We did it. They said you'd never do it, but we've gone 35 and a half days without a government. So think of this as a measure of dysfunction. At the end of all of this, there will be some deal struck between Democrats and Republicans. And if only both sides were realistic, they could have struck that deal on day one and we wouldn't have had to live through this shutdown. The direct economic consequences of the shutdown in terms of numbers that journalists tend to focus on, GDP, things like that, is actually going to be pretty small. It'll move a little bit of GDP from one quarter to the next, but not that much. The economic cost another way, if we're going to continue to pay these people, but effectively pay them to do nothing, effectively burning $100 bills in order to resolve a political stalemate between left and right, it may not add up to the sorts of trillions of dollars you need to make an impact on GDP, but it's no less infuriating.
Yeah, and speaking of infuriating, it's infuriating for those people that aren't getting paid, those civil servants that aren't getting paid but still expected to work. What are sort of the broader implications if this continues to roll on?
I think the direct implications are relatively minor in that during a shutdown, emergency services are allowed to continue. Now, there are certain groups, the most salient of which is the air traffic controllers who are being asked to work, but they're not being paid. And at some point, they just start calling in sick. Now, there has been a law passed under the previous Congress that says if there's a government shutdown, everyone gets paid at the end. Of course, having a law in America and enforcing it have become very different things. And the president has said that he won't enforce it. And so there's a whole lot of public servants right now, many of whom are drawn to the job by a desire to make the world a better place, who are feeling right now that maybe the world doesn't love them very much and they're worried they're not going to get the wages they not only need, but the law says that they're owed.
Yeah, so what do you think is going to happen next then? How do you see this playing out? Are we just going to continue breaking records every day when it comes to this shutdown?
Mate, we've been breaking record after record when it comes to the United States recently, whether it's about trade wars, the lack of the rule of law, or even the lower house no longer sitting because they don't want to be open in time to be forced to take a look at the Epstein files. So norms are being shattered left, right, and center. This particular one, I think, again, it matters much more what it is a symptom of, and it's a symptom of a deep and abiding dysfunction that Republicans, despite holding the presidency, the Senate, and the House, can't fund the government and can't even get themselves to get together in a room to strike a deal. It takes breaking a record, as we've just done. Currently, the betting markets say they're going to be able to resolve this within a couple of weeks. But the truth is, anything you can resolve in mid-November, you could have resolved in early October.
And just quickly, does it have broader implications to beyond US borders then with its trade partners or how it functions in that way?
Well, there you want to keep your eye not so much on the government shutdown, although that matters. It means things like new products that need to be approved aren't being approved. You really want to keep your eye on Wednesday's Supreme Court case, where we learned whether or not Trump's country-specific tariffs, every time he says tariffs on Britain, tariffs on the EU, tariffs on Japan, tariffs on China, we may learn that all of those are unconstitutional. In fact, that's my guess, although a lot of lawyers think it might go the other way, which is going to move our chaotic trade war that was really chaotic and settled into merely chaotic back to extremely chaotic again.
Justin, we'll leave it there, but thanks so much for your insight today. Justin Wolfers, professor of economics and public policy at the University of Michigan.
Pleasure.